V, and hello, my wonderful channeling Eric peeps, and of course my beloved Eric. How are you?
Mwah, like this. And then he goes like this. One after the other.
That's funny. All right, so we're going to talk about a subject that everybody, almost everybody loves, and that's aliens. And Veronica, how did it get to this point?
Well, those of you that have been with Channeling Eric for a while know that I'm really not the alien girl, and I'm just like happy in my own lane, doing my own thing, and drinking my coffee like I do. I had a download. I had a visitation. Just gonna say
Wow.
a visitation, and I know that this visitation was from the planet Neptune.
Oh, cool.
Was and then I come to find out that's my origination, my start point. So there was a lot of things happening, and then I heard the nudge, go and share what you know. Now I'm going to answer questions to the best of our ability as I can connect, but I'm fascinated. I got to tell you, I've got to tell you, I'm fascinated.
So there's life on Neptune, huh?
There is.
That's so cool. All right, let's get started because I this might have to be a two-parter. Uh, which aliens are coming through that you are going to channel, Miss V?
So I asked that question when I got the download, and this was the direct answer that they gave me. It's not necessarily the source, it's the quality and the meaning of the message. But I will tell you, they're a little bit of from Sirius, Orion, the Pleiades, uh,
Oh.
uh, and they're saying to me, make it as normal as you can. Okay. So, there's going to be a compilation of different energies coming through.
Okay, cool. All right, we're gonna try to get through, what is it, 54, 55 questions. I don't know if we
Whoa.
can even do that. There's no way. How do you know as a medium that the aliens who are coming through are saying the truth when asked questions? That's a good one.
That is a great one. And this is something I quabbled with within myself. And so one of the energies that has stepped in here right now, and of course Eric is here, and I run everything by Eric before I do this. One of the energies is saying to me, it is a question of love and expansion and what feels true. If something scares you, the listener, or me, it needs to be looked at, it needs to be sat with, it needs to be understood on a different level. It doesn't
Right.
mean that it's bad. It might be the listener's perception.
Exactly. If possible, could you channel the Pleiadians and Andromedans? I guess we'll do that. So I guess if any of these answers come through
Sure.
from one of them, you can let us know.
Absolutely.
Okay. How long have they been interested in humanity and Earth, monitoring, helping, guiding? And why are they so interested in us and want to help us ascend?
The answer is, and it's a frequency that just buzzes in my ear. The answer is, when haven't we been? We were here before you.
That's true.
We are the grandparents, and we are invested because all is one.
Yeah, I love that. What is happening with the ones that do not have our best interests at heart? And who is winning this battle? Ooh, I love that one.
There is the duality, that dichotomy is in humanity as well as in the alien world or the ET world, the extraterrestrial world. You're going to have this side saying this and that side saying this. It's all part of it. And it's a matter of, again, they're going back to perception. If I receive something and it feels heavy and scary and angst filled to me, what we're asked to do is process it, look at it through a different filter, and decide that we need it or we don't.
Oh, interesting. Do aliens also enter into soul contracts to become spirit guides? I mean, in other words, does Source allow them to be spirit guides?
Absolutely, 100% yes.
Yeah, but somebody else said that aliens don't have souls, but I can't imagine. Maybe their souls are just a little different.
Right. The frequency is different. The purpose is different. The mission is different. The learning is different. So, yes, but souls, absolutely.
Oh, cool. Do they go to the same afterlife as humans do?
So, what they're showing me is they're filtered through it. there is a component of it that yes, they do go through because they're so closely connected. If you think about it like this, they're telling me, um, we're all one, and there isn't, they have to know us inside and out, and it would be in our best interest to know them inside and out and understand this is a co-creative collaborative effort that they are bringing forward. Hollywood and the sensationalism of aliens and ET, the government cover up didn't do anything to help the benevolency of ETs.
Oh, wow. Uh, is your source creator the same as our source, or is it an alternate source?
Yes. One source.
Okay. Are ETs, I know the question is this, more evolved than humans?
Yes.
What is
Yeah.
their life mission? And how long is their lifespan? I'm sure this is probably different.
Yeah.
Different
Well,
one.
if you think about aliens like this, I got to tell you, I'm hearing the name Bestlar. 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 Bestlar
Okay.
is here, and I have chills all over my body. Um, our lifespan is eternal, just like yours. We
Oh,
are eternal. Um, we don't go anywhere. We're shifting. Think of it as in terms of, okay, you've done this mission, now you're going to shift over here.
wow.
And the other thing I learned, and this may be contrary to what a lot of people have put forward, they don't have physical bodies. So when we
Oh,
say, oh, it's a big head, little eyes, now I question that in detail. Some of them will present
oh,
to the human like that, but in reality, they're the purest at their soul, and that is their energy.
right. So in their home base, so to speak, it's just pure energy.
Absolutely,
And so
absolutely.
they do or do not procreate. I guess energy you can still procreate, right?
Yeah,
In a way, just not in a
it's right, not in the way we know it. It's
biological form. Yeah.
out, it goes on, and yes, there is a way for that. Yes.
Okay. Do aliens have bodies and body parts like humans, a heart, lung, etc.? We already talked about that. They do when they present to us, I suppose, right?
They can.
They
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 can.
can, but
So,
yeah.
to be clear, my visitation from the Neptune, he did appear as a face and a shape. He had this beautiful blue tone on him. That was
Oh,
the first appearance to me. But after that, he's just been showing up as a feel, as a buzz, as just he's a different energy than I know, like Eric to be or my guides to be. But I don't see his face necessarily anymore because he said to me it's not important.
yeah.
And also, I'm calling him a he. That's a human thing. I don't know that there's no gender.
Well, there's no gender. Yeah, that I can imagine. So, what is the most important download one of the most important download you received?
That we as a human race need to slow down and just need to regroup and get a grip because while it looks like chaos to us,
Mhm.
somewhere the chaos is already figured out and ordered, and they are, I don't want to sound like sensationalism, but they are walking among us. They are orchestrating, they are helping us. We're not alone here. We've never been alone. And the worse we feel it gets as humans, the more intense these presents are becoming and helping
Mhm.
us. And it's not about fighting injustices necessarily. It's about course correction. Because if you think about injustice, Bestlar says, if you think about injustice like this, everybody has good intentions when they're doing something. They might not be in alignment with what we perceive as good, but everybody has good intentions and they think they're right with their mission. So we
Oh,
just need to educate. Now that's from Bestlar and
right,
ETs.
that's cool. Um, so I guess they are among us as how? Do they look humanoid? I mean, they're like human alien hybrids, or are they just like forms of energy that we can't see?
Well, if you
When you
think
say
about,
walk among us.
Eric says, let's use him as a reference. So
Okay.
when we work with Eric, or talk with Erik, there are some of us that physically see Erik, right? There are some of us that feel his tone, feel his vibration. And also, Erik has the ability, just like every other energy, to, I don't want it to sound like a sci-fi again, to not take over a body, but to influence a
Yeah.
body and a
Okay.
person. And the same is true with the ETs. You're not going to go to the mall and see an ET with the head like you see on the
Yeah.
ET movie. That's not going to happen. But there may be people among us, there are people among us that are influenced by the ETs.
Yeah. I'd hate to like mistake him for one of the grapefruits I'm testing, Oh, no, oh, that's not a grapefruit. All right.
Right.
What's a typical day in your life like, Bestlar? I mean, tell us something about your culture, lifestyle.
Mhm. He says it is very, it's so intense that you couldn't even put it into human terms. The flow, the pace. If you talk to most humans, they will say they have a very common phrase they use: my plate is full.
Mm.
And he says if you if you were to take a human into extraterrestrial territory, they would combust. They would
Wow.
there's no way that energy could be understood. To equate it to your day-to-day life is almost impossible because we don't focus on the mundane.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Do they use money or barter for goods? They probably just manifest anything they want.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
imagining.
that's your silly humanness.
Yeah. Are ETs benevolent or malevolent, especially in our universe?
Um, Beslar, again, channeling Beslar, I would ask you the same about your humans.
Mm. So it's a mix.
Mhm.
Okay. How will life change for humans once there is full disclosure?
Oh, that's a good question. So he does
Mm.
this, and
Ah,
Erik is also pondering, how does life change once there is full disclosure? Um, he shows me a curtain being pulled back, and he shows, okay, I don't know if this quite answers it, but here is what I'm getting.
okay.
You know how in The Wizard of Oz, they pulled the curtain back and it was this little mini, there was nothing. There's nothing to fear. And furthermore, Bestlar says, once you understand fear and you see it and how tiny and minuscule it is in the whole realm of the world, it will be just an influx of peace.
Oh,
He says, now don't understand this to be an instant euphoria, he says,
oh
because
yeah. Some people will freak out at first, I'm sure.
exactly, he says, you must walk through the agonizing pain and fear that comes with the revelation that you are not alone.
Okay. Do aliens answer to the Galactic Federation Council as it relates to your interference into Earth business and human interaction?
There is always a hierarchy, absolutely.
Okay.
Always a hierarchy. And anybody that goes rogue, just like on your planet, it doesn't bode well.
Hmm. Yeah, this next question will go further into that. It seems like the good aliens have signed some sort of non-interference agreement, but why do the bad aliens get to do whatever they want for so long, if I understand things correctly? Is that really true?
Yeah,
Or-
no. He says, no, let's clarify this right now. There are no good, there are no bad.
Okay.
He says, let's get rid of that language. That's a human language.
Okay.
There are angels. Erik says, we'll talk about angels in a minute. That's what Erik
Oh,
put
wow.
in my head. But Bessler says that there are good and there are bad, but we can't use those words. He said, again, we're trying to humanize something.
Well, that's
And
good.
the good, the perceived good, again, is just a perception. Humans want to have it rationalized like, oh, this happened and this is good, and oh, this happened and that's not bad. It gives them a sense of security when reality, the bad ETs that are coming through, it's conflict. That's all it is. They're in conflict with where you are right now and how you
Oh,
perceive things.
why?
It's not a simple alien ET interview. I'm telling you, it's just,
Oh, God, I know.
yeah.
But it's going very well. Are all our spirit guides aliens and not anything else? Example, they're not spirits like deceased loved ones, ancestors, etc. No, that's not true,
No,
right?
You have a combination, and this is where Erik is saying, don't forget the angels, don't forget the
Okay,
angels.
go for it with the angels.
They're in their own breed, they're in their own realm, if you will. They're
Yeah.
not ETs.
Oh, okay. Can you ask them about Noah and the flood? I heard that Noah was actually an actual alien that heard directly from God source and was told to build a starship, not wooden as they've been told, and gather animals and humans. Can you explain the real Noah story? Was he really an alien? That's so cool.
He was influenced. He had a very strong guardian angel guide that influenced him. And what you saw as the ark was a very rough rendering of an alien ship.
So was that how aliens I mean, humans were brought to Earth? Or some of them?
We're again, Bessler says you're trying to humanize it in a way that's not possible. Aliens, ETs, have not walked the earth as like primitive man walked the
Oh,
earth.
okay.
They've not walked the earth.
Oh.
So I'm not sure
What
that's
about the Anunnaki? There's a saying about Anunnaki that there were bad and good Anunnaki, especially these two brothers, Enki and Enlil, who created humans via along with the geneticist Sophia or something. One brother wanted to use humans to work for them to dig the gold, and the other wanted to help them. Then I heard another source that no Anunnaki are good; they're only bad ones. I mean, what's going on? Did they help create humans by playing with human DNA? Just give us the lowdown on the.
about energetic interference, energetic influence. Okay. So I could be right now being carrying out the mission of an ET. But I am known as Veronica Drake. I mean, this is me making this up. I am known as Veronica Drake, and I'm, having my work and I'm doing my thing. So when I connect and I get ET guidance, it's the same to me as when I get guardian angel guidance or Erik guidance or
Mhm.
so, when that was happening, there was the malevolent and the benevolent and the Anakis, and there was that kind of separation and that kind of diversity. It wasn't literally them walking the earth.
Okay, because they have so many pictures of the elongated heads and even skulls that they found, etc. But what's going on there?
That's primitive man.
Oh, okay.
Primitive
Who
man.
who built the pyramids? And how were they built, basically? I heard by sound and levitation. Is that true?
It isn't about who built the pyramids. So I heard he's asking me, what does that have to do with ETs?
Did
So
they
it
help?
must mean
Did
it
they
must mean nothing.
Okay, all right. Who made the Easter Island statues? Well, how were they built then? Well, those heavy blocks.
Have faith. Understand that things were not built, they were created. There, and
Oh,
again, our universe is energy. You hit it, sound, reverberation, movement, all of that. This is called having faith and believing in miracles.
cool. What about the Easter Island statues? Any alien involvement there?
Only as inspiration.
Okay.
So there must be human involvement there too.
Yeah. Can they elaborate in the destruction of Maldek, the supposed planet between Mars and Jupiter, whose destruction led to the creation of our current asteroid belt?
What should we elaborate on?
Is that true? That the Maldek is a planet that disintegrated and then became the asteroid belt?
Yes, of course.
How was it destroyed?
Combustion.
From
Just hitting, if you think about it like this, he says, energy's moving. Think about a pinball. You're doing the
okay.
pinball. Boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba
Was
boom,
it
ba
like
boom.
a big asteroid that
Yes,
destroyed it?
it's constant movement of energy and one hits but with intention.
Okay.
There was intention to do that so that we could evolve and the system could also grow and become more complex. But it was sound, again, your sound. But think pinball.
Did
You know,
was it deliberate or was it like, wow, there's an asteroid smashed into it? Too bad.
There is nothing unknown.
Okay.
Everything is known. So yes, deliberate for sure,
Okay.
but not with mean intent.
Okay. Well, I don't understand the purpose.
To expand every little nuance, every little empty space, to multiply, he says.
Okay. Is the death trap, the reincarnation trap, real? Do aliens try to trick us on our way crossing over?
I suppose there could be some trickery going on if you're subject to it, if you're open to it, but as a whole, no.
Okay.
They are also, he wants me to reiterate, alien energy is part of the review process.
Oh,
So when you go to the review board, as we have talked about, there is alien energy present.
okay. Why?
Because they come in with a mission that was given to you, and then they get to say, almost like, again, I'm humanizing this, almost like, okay, so Joey had this and he accomplished that, and well, this is where we could get stronger on this aspect of it. And as an ET, your guide, we were here to do this, and maybe it could have been a little bit different, and it's kind of like that.
Okay, cool. So there's no real death trap where you're stopped from reincarnation.
They're saying absolutely no. Now, use a different term for it, because if one soul feels like it's ready to reincarnate, there must be a unanimous consensus, right? That
Okay.
the soul can reincarnate. If
Okay.
in fact the soul is not ready, you might look at that as a, oh, listen, we know better, we're wiser, let's stop you here. But to put the words death trap on it, um, Besslar says it's
Scary.
so sinister.
Yeah, really. Are there people living in, or any beings living inside of the earth?
Yes.
Oh, really? How many civilizations do you think there are?
Oh, there are layers and layers and layers. He says that
Wow.
it can't even be, at least 100. I mean, he's just giving me a
Wow.
physical number, but universe is everywhere. He says, go in a cave. You can feel the earth, and you're getting the reverberation of everything and every energy that lives in the earth.
Can you name like one type of civilization that's there? Like, are there the giants that people talk about in legends? There's another name for them. I can't remember. It's just
No.
escaping me.
He says,
Um,
it, let's, he, Eric is saying, why don't we do that as another show?
okay. Yeah, that'd be great. Did
Because
we
it's a
ever
big
make it?
topic.
Did we really make it to the moon? And is it a real moon?
Eric and Bessler are chuckling. What's real? What is real?
Oh my God. Yeah, really.
What is real? He says. Yes, yes, yes. We made it to the moon.
And it's
Define
a real moon. It's not like this
not
great show called Moonfall. Oh my God, watch it with
cheese.
Halle Berry, I think.
Yeah, it's not cheese. I mean, is it real?
Okay,
It's as real as every other planet out there.
all right. So it's not an artificial man-made or alien made. Okay.
No, 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 no.
Are we living in a 3D holographic matrix of the Earth on top of a 5D reality matrix?
You could say that. You could say that, that gets convoluted and it gets confusing, and for some people it gets scary, and what Bessler doesn't like about the 5D conversation,
Yeah,
it takes people away from the present moment.
I know. They don't remain grounded.
You're
So,
here and you have to be part of the society, and you have to contribute from a loving, benevolent place.
right. Are we all really asleep to the true reality of nature, to the fact that we are blinded by the obvious truth that aliens exist and we are more powerful than we think?
Are we blinded by it?
Well, let me read that again. It's a little complicated. Are we really asleep or blinded to the true reality of nature, to the truth that aliens exist?
Well, again, that's perspective, and we
Some
can't
are, some aren't.
categorize everybody, because
Right.
those of us, and I can speak for myself, those of us that were asleep on it and were like, no, hell no, we've come around. So there are
Yeah.
these. And so he says you can't clump everybody together.
Okay. Is it true that there is an agreement in place to not purposely reveal yourself to the earth yet?
He uses the word, yes, there's an understanding. There's an understanding because if you show somebody something that's not ready for it, that's why we're giving you small doses. That's why we're taking leaders who are looked to and who have the vernacular and the wherewithal to bring forward and articulate who we are. We're giving them small doses. And there are many fine people out there that are doing this work.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, here's a cool one. I will see a flash of light in the dense woods at night during cold winter months. Is this you? And what is the purpose?
We're everywhere. And of
It
course,
could be, but who cares? Who knows? Maybe the neighbor was turning on their flashlight or something.
I mean, and I wouldn't know how to know that, but trust that we're everywhere. And like your spirit guides, like your angels, we can be specks, we can be orbs, we can be whatever we need to be. We're energy.
Yeah. Uh, how do you choose which humans you make conscious contact with? For example, do those humans need to be in contract with you to make contact, or do they have to have certain qualities, like an open pineal gland? I mean,
He says that it's not necessarily a contract, but it is predefined, if you will. Like
okay,
you're not going to randomly come into Earth and not know that you're going to have contact. You
okay,
do know that, but again, remember, you come into Earth and you don't know it. You can't remember anything. He wants me to make a point here, and I wrote it down. The, this is funny. Eric's laughing. Just like human beings, there are some ETs that are more dense.
oh,
And he laughs because he has a sense of humor. And
I
he's
know.
laughing because when he says more dense, he doesn't mean thick in the head. He means they are more energetically equipped to affect change and movement and
Oh,
like when we were talking about the pyramids, that's how you can get it done. Like there's movement, it's dense, but it's not human movement like we would know.
okay, interesting. How do we? So you don't need like an open pineal gland or any other qualities?
He says it helps, but if if you're not doing your work to self-develop, become more aware, I could drop a piano on your head when you're walking by and it could be there and you won't look up, you won't see it, you won't know. So I could attempt, this is Besslar, I could attempt
Please
to make,
don't.
yeah, I could attempt to make contact with you, but if you're not open to it and you're not aware of it, you're going to miss it.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, Candy Cane, that's a great Christmassy name, K instead of C's, says, how can she, what's the first part? Make herself more contactable to benevolent ETs. She's
Sure.
seen them since she was little, multiple times and close up. That is awesome.
Now, she may be one of those people that she gets a visual that she can see what they look like, and
Yeah.
that's cool, right? Because she's
Mhm,
open to
mhm.
that. Again, being silent, being in a space outdoors is the best place, they're telling me. And if you can't physically be outdoors, have a visual of outdoors, whether you put it on your
Oh,
computer screen or you're sitting at the window, the elements outdoors, there's something about the energy of outdoors.
okay. All right, my name is Becky. I made contact with it. Might have been what might have been an alien. At least that's what she told me, and that she was a guide as well. But my question is, what type of alien is she? From what I remember, her name starts with an E. This girl Becky. We don't know her where she's from or anything, so it might be tough.
What does it mean when you say what type of alien? Because I would say to Becky, what type of human are you?
Oh, okay. So I guess she wants to know is Pleiadian or Anunnaki or
Um, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting anything.
yeah, we need more information.
He's adamant about what kind of human are you?
Okay. Will you be contacting Enneas in the future? And if so, which is your method of disclosure, I guess?
We're constantly on. We're never off. We're constantly looking for contact we're constantly looking to better humanity. That's our role. So we're constantly trying to contact you. How many people have tried to get through to you a human point and you don't listen and you don't understand and you're not paying attention? Imagine us. We never give up though. And they'll use any method possible, just like guides. It may be an image, it may be a sound, you may get a visual. Erik is saying just the way I would come to you. It's all the same.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's like the indigenous people of North America, when an explorer, maybe it was Columbus, I can't remember, brought their small dinghies on shore. I mean, the people couldn't even see the big ships out there because it was not in their reality at all. So they were invisible
And
to the
going
indigenous.
back to that point, how many times did we think the earth was flat?
That's true. All right. Are the races who act in our highest good still helping to stop the use of nuclear weapons?
Understand this, that your nuclear weapons are human made and human consumption.
Yeah.
We will do our best to intervene, but like your guides, like your angels, we cannot interfere with free will.
Yeah. That's too bad. Does America have a real space fleet?
I don't know what that means.
Like, I don't know, a fleet of spaceships, maybe.
Because the only thing I hear is, yes, we have NASA.
Okay. So, but no, we don't have some clandestine uh,
No, there's not a
flying saucers or anything.
there's not a hole in the ground or a cave like a bat cave where they go in, but he is saying, I don't want to stir stuff up, but I'm going to just tell you, the government has way more than you will ever know.
Oh, I bet.
And it's in your best interest because if you, Bestler is saying, if the government shows you what they know and tells you what they know, mass chaos, pandemonium, you're
Wow.
not there. You're not ready for it. But
Okay.
yes, the answer is yes. There is I guess you could call it a fleet.
Okay. Is Jesus or was Jesus an alien?
No.
Okay. Is this New World Order managed at the highest level by reptilians or greys? The New World Order. That's the Bilderberg complex, the elites and the media and academia. I think that's what they're talking about.
Yeah. This is influential energy that is not benevolent.
I don't know. Is it the is
The
is it
Greys.
managed by reptilians or greys?
I heard the Greys.
Wow. Do aliens time travel in the past or into the future?
Absolutely.
That's
Uh,
cool.
there's no boundaries.
Wow. Yeah, energy is energy, whether there's no time, so
Nope.
makes sense. Plant medicine like ayahuasca, where does it come from and what is its purpose? I guess that person's asking, does it have some sort of alien
Mhm.
source?
No, no pun intended, he says, but there are no roots in the alien. And plants are put on this earth for medicinal purposes, for survival purposes. When humans get their hands on them, what they do with them is often atrocious.
Oh, like what?
Well, abuse them,
Oh yeah, like yeah.
desecrate them, all of that. But everything in the right capacity, in the right dosing, in the right amount, everything has the potential to be helpful to humanity. That's why
Okay.
it's on the earth.
Yeah. Many people, also government people, claim that some of them are already walking among us. We know that. How much truth to that? And in which countries do they feel most comfortable? We know everything except this last part of the question. Which countries, if there are any, do they feel more comfortable walking around in?
Again, he goes to say we can't humanize this because it's not
Yeah.
about comfort for the ETs
Oh
or the
yeah.
guides. So
Yeah.
it's a matter of where's the work, where's the mission, where do we
Okay.
belong? So it's not a comfort feeling.
So where are there more of you?
They're highly populated all throughout Europe, but they're also highly populated on every other continent and country. I mean,
So there's no bigger concentration in one country over another.
we don't have the little red pins on the board that will show. No, he said, no, it doesn't work like that.
Okay. Since we know life existed on Mars, do we? Can they expand? Can they expand on the civilization that was there? And yeah, start with that.
Um, Not at this time, but certainly there is potential. And when you think about this, okay, maybe Mars is too hot, too cold, this, that, the other thing, but you're only coming at it from your human perspective. There are beings that may not, the temperature may be irrelevant, and they can cultivate and colonize and do all of these things in a way that you, the human, can't.
Yeah, look at the the uh, the life forms that live in lava, bacteria or something like that. I can't remember the name, but yeah.
Well, what
So
about
was there?
I mean, we lived in the ice age, but then we didn't, then we did, then,
Yeah.
particles, there were pieces, it's all like that.
Okay. But was there life on Mars before? I mean,
Eric and him are looking at each other, and Eric says, should we stir this pot? And the answer is yes.
okay. How did it become extinct? Well, maybe it isn't. I don't know. And
Yeah,
turned it red?
Bessler says, just because you can't see it, you think it's extinct?
Well, has a lot of it been destroyed? A lot of the civilization that was on Mars?
Well, he
Is
says
it smaller now?
destroyed, misplaced, taken off, gone to other locations.
Okay.
On the other side. Now, when we say the other side, we don't mean the other side like the veil. We mean the other
Yeah.
side of the planet.
Oh, okay. All right. You see the same thing happening here on Earth? Parts of civilization being destroyed, for example,
It already is.
or misplaced, or
It already is. And he says, let's be fair, let's be clear. You utilize your whole planet. You know the other side of your planet. It's there.
yeah,
It's established. You've cultivated it. You've
right.
colonized. So no, that won't happen.
Okay. Do technology ETs, aliens, angels, gods, spirits exist, and do they visit us in dreams to give us answers? Uh, yeah, I'm sure. Do alien? Of course, they visit us in dreams to give us answers.
Yes.
Can we ask them for help to solve difficult tech problems?
So Bessler says that they can't feed information to a vessel or a being that can't compute it or can't understand it.
Oh yeah.
So, at the level that you can understand things, if you're a quantum physicist, you're going to get a different download than somebody who's dabbling in it and
Oh
just goes
yeah.
to the internet and Googles it. You're
Yeah.
not all of a sudden going to become a quantum physicist, but we can work with you and calibrate what you're downloaded based on where you're currently at.
Well,
And I
can't
have to
you
tell
download stuff so that we do know understand it? Can you or
you, no, it's
okay.
complex because he says you may not be at that juncture on your
Okay.
journey. You may not be ready to receive that. You may not be fully capable of that. There's so many intricacies. But this is interesting because he chimes in and he says this is important to tell you. California is not going to fall into the water.
Oh,
I don't know where that
my
came from.
sister lives there, so I hope not.
I mean, he just came out of the blue, but yeah.
When I was lost in the tundra in Norway and almost died, is it true that they took me up to a mothership for a while to warm me up?
Listen, you were nestled. I'm just going to be blunt and say this, he says. You shouldn't be alive.
I know.
You
My
shouldn't be
core body temperature was 84. That's not compatible with life. And that was after they warmed me up. So
right. You were taken. And let's be clear, when we say taken, they didn't necessarily pick up your whole physical Elisa body. They took the essence of you and the soul. And when the soul was put back in you, it was just this warm, and you saw how very quickly the temperature went down in the body. We saved you on a soul level, not your body. We knew
okay.
that you had more work to do here. You're too valuable to humanity.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. So does my family. What things are you trying to help us with? And are we doing a good job of learning? So,
Eric's cracking up.
yeah.
Eric says no. He says I'm being funny. We're trying to help you. Okay. So when it all boils down, when all is said and done, we're helping you understand who you are as a species, how you operate, how you're built, why you do the things you do. We're helping you on a very fundamental level because, and he says this gets very profound and very deep. Not every human being comes in on a level playing ground. And that's for obvious reasons, so that the world can be experience duality, so that the soul can experience certain things. But we're trying to help the journey that you've chosen be a little bit more understandable to you
Interesting.
instead of being victimy.
All right. So, yeah. So, are we doing a good job of learning as a whole, as a human collective?
As a whole, yes. But there are, there are weak links. He says you have to look at the average,
Yeah.
the average. And your average is pretty good, but could be better.
Yeah. How do aliens help us individually? Examples, if we're homeless, do they help us find a home? If so, what signs do we look for if they help us individually?
They won't help you like that because it's free will.
Yeah, right, right.
Right. They'll influence your thought process. They'll influence, but again, they'll only influence just like a spirit guide as far as they can influence because you've written this contract, you have free will.
Okay. Uh, all right. From your perspective of humans, what is your advice on how humanity can best direct its evolution to one day be in line with your own advanced technological, spiritual, etc. stage of evolutionary development? That's a mouthful.
Yes.
Advice on how we can best direct our evolution to that end.
Mhm. You'll never have our end. You just never will. So stop holding us as the benchmark. You will never get to the level that we are. It's not meant to be. Will you get to a much, 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 much more sophisticated level as humans? Absolutely.
Well, the
But
only thing that can stop
evolution.
us if our bodies all die, but then we're still energy and that can evolve.
But your body's, but so he says, let's break it down into progress, right?
Right.
So what one person came here to do and start and be is great, and they've lived that, let's say, 80 years, and they go on, and then the next person that has, it's almost like this tag, you're it, or like when you're running a race, somebody
Oh,
passes
yeah.
on,
Right.
and so then it becomes, okay, I'll pick up this guy's race here. He died at 80, but you know what, I'm 35, I'm up and coming, I'm in this blah, blah, blah. And then it goes on and on and on like
Okay.
that. Evolution never stops.
Yeah. But what's stopping us from when eventually we get so advanced that we no longer have human bodies? What's to say we can't continue to evolve to your point? Is it because, well, you're saying, well, then you're no longer really human. So yes,
Correct.
you can evolve.
Right.
Okay.
And listen, Eric is living proof. You get
Yeah.
there. And I say living proof intentionally because
Yeah.
Eric is living. And so he's living proof that you get there. All of our crossed over loved ones are living proof.
Yeah.
It's only our minds that are making us feel like they're not here.
Yeah. That's true. Once humanity eventually begins traveling out into the cosmos, meeting other races, what aliens and other known threats should we be aware of now before we set sail? I love that. It's cute.
Mm, yeah. Um, so there's not a breed or a species or a name. Um, he says to me, Besslar says, that's a question that, when answered, will plant seeds that don't need to be planted yet. And
Okay.
perhaps this is part of where the sensationalism and the fear mongering comes from.
Okay.
Yes, for sure, there are certain aspects and qualities and energies to watch out for, but why put that out there right now? You've not even formulated anything near getting there, so let's not go somewhere we don't.
Baby steps. Right. Okay, our scientists believe using their instruments, there are no signs of alien civilization. Is this because our technology isn't sophisticated enough to find them? Or perhaps there's some sort of intergalactic agreement to be hidden unless you're in the club?
Who are you believing to tell you they're hidden? Who are you
I
believing?
don't know. It's just scientists, really? So
I
the
mean,
same scientists that told us the Earth was flat.
yeah. So really, I mean, science is wonderful, and you all have developed this great process for learning things. And yes, you've
Right?
grown, but there's also censorship.
Yeah, and look, using instruments, if science depended on instruments um, to try to prove the existence of the invisible, then they're saying that there's no spirit life, and there is.
Yeah, yeah, there is. And you have these fancy boxes that you use, he's saying, these fancy boxes that the average person can get a hold of and use and see frequencies. He says
Yeah.
to he says, let's just give it to you like this. For anyone to say there isn't life out there, whether you call us aliens, ETs, extraterrestrials, they're ignorant. They're
Yeah.
ignorant to the fact.
Okay. What is some interesting news about what's going on amongst the galactic civilization that we would find fascinating? Ooh.
Well, it's nothing like your human world. There's not adversaries and there's not controversy. What you really what really would fascinate you, we feel, would be the visionaries. So just like your group, your species, we have creatives, we have visionaries, we have mouthpieces, we have the people in the background doing this. He said it's kind of like, and Eric is laughing. We're chuckling at this because Bachelor says, given the season, think of Santa's workshop. He's chuckling.
Oh,
All of the little elves have their own little jobs, right? They're
cool. Yeah.
working on this and this one's working on that. He said it's a fine oiled machine and everybody has their process and it's a collaborative effort.
Well,
I
of
don't know
course.
if that answered it, but that was a long.
Because you live not just knowing, but you live as a collective, as part of a collective.
Absolutely. We literally know what the left hand's doing.
Yeah.
You humans use the phrase left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. That's not true with us. We know.
Oh, that's so cool. But there was a time where you weren't as evolved, right?
Some of
Billions
us.
and billions of years ago.
Oh yeah, some of us,
There
and some
were wars, galactic wars,
yeah,
Draco,
some
Orion,
of us
all
are
that stuff, right?
not. So, there's because how do we know what we know? We know it because people bring it forward. How do we believe what we believe? We censor it, we put it through a filter that we're raised with. And so if you
Okay.
can see through a wide filter that yes, those energies are still happening. There's still galactic wars happening.
Oh, I was going to ask that. Yeah.
They're still happening everywhere. But
Okay.
it's vast. It's vast. And to that I would say to you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't involve you.
Yeah. None of that business. All right. Anything else that you downloaded, Veronica, that you want to share before we start talking about human design, which I'm so excited to talk about?
He just says this is a beautiful experience, and he says he really wants to commit to this energy and giving back and feeding into the peace and the love that the ETs bring. And he's saying, and Eric agrees, this should be a regular kind of concept that you bring forward. And Eric says, don't forget to visit the levels of the earth.
Yeah. So maybe next time we won't rely on questions from the community. We'll just have a free
Yeah,
for all.
yeah, just channel.
It's so weird that his name is Bestelar, and my father-in-law who recently died, we call him Bestefar. It's funny.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
weird. I'm sure it's not
That
a
was his first name?
no, that means grandfather, basically. But it's okay.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
but his real name is Oswald Methus. All right. Keep looking for Maria to come. So that's why I'm glancing over there. All right, so Veronica at veronicadrake.com. You have the floor. We want to hear all about human design.
I have just, I did, my partner Janine and I did your report for you,
I
and
know, it
it
was amazing.
blew you away, I could tell. And I want to be clear about this. In my readings now, I'm
Oh, I
incorporating.
read it actually and made it into a video, by the
Oh,
way.
yay. Human design, it's not a tool. It's not a modality. Like I can't use your human design to predict your future, or like I would use tarot cards or any of that. I can see how you're wired, the wiring you chose for this life, and then intertwined with my intuitive ability, the guides, the angels, Erik, ETs, whoever comes in. This is an in-depth reading about who you were created to be, and how to use who you are to get past the roadblocks, the challenges. And you're not going to eliminate speed bumps or obstacles and challenges, but knowing who you are, you can navigate them much more easily, knowing your human design, your human print.
And
So I
who
am,
doesn't need to know that? Who doesn't need to know who they really are? And also, there it goes into ancestral stuff too.
mhm. And here's the thing, this is not for the average person who wants to know, about my job. I mean, it can be, but this is deep, deep work that you're going to meet yourself. You're going to meet yourself and you're going to look at nuances and pieces of yourself that maybe you were oblivious to. And knowing yourself is huge.
It's
It's
one of the biggest things, maybe
everything.
the number one things for us
Absolutely.
as humans. And you're going to start doing
Doing
this for others after the first of the year, right?
Well, you know what? The request has been so beautiful and so dynamic that I'm going to start doing it ASAP. And all you would
Awesome.
need to do, we're getting busy now putting a tab on my site, but you would just book a reading, a general reading, and then follow that with an email to me saying, hey, I want human design. And then you'll get an email back. We're going to automate it. We're working on it, but to
Okay.
serve the people right now that have come to me, we're going to kind of shortcut it. So.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you. And again, Veronica Drake at veronicadrake.com. I want to say thank you to Beslar. This won't be the last time we meet. It was an honor. Very, very elucidating.
Yes.
Big word for a little girl. Anyway, so thank you guys. And be sure you subscribe and share this video. Bye. I love you, Erik.
Love you, Mom.
Bye.
Bye.